have found all this happening and God has been good to us, we testify of the goodness of God. But I remember the first time I was brought to Luzira and I was told I'm taking over the church. Back then it was called Luzira Community Church. And I remember how I met a church that was so divided among each other and people fighting. And there weren't many like this. There was just a handful of us. And they were fighting against each other. And I couldn't be around. For a whole year, I went back to seek the Lord and to, of course, also to be with my wife. And ask God, what does God want for this place? And during that time, I remember making trips. I made about 2 or 3 trips to come back to Luzira, check what is going on with the church, and then go back. And really trying to seek and saying, God, what is it that you have planned for Luzira? I remember on one of those trips, I had come back. I had even tried to get the church to come for a prayer and fasting season, and no one showed up. I was in that tent. Not this one. It was if what the children are having right now as a tent, that was our tent back then, and it was army green. It was like an army camp. I had been in that thing for a whole week by myself, even though I had called the entire church to come and pray. And in that frustration, I was asking God, please, you have to understand, I had just finished my master's degree. You have to understand, I had just been speaking on platforms with great men in this world. And I came back and I called for a prayer meeting and no one shows up. And people are fighting this and fighting that. And so, as I boarded to go back to be with my family, I remember having boarded off the airplane and I still remember the very place as I went up the escalator. And the questions in my mind were, God, what is it that you really want to do in Luzira? Why is it that place that you have sent me to? And I remember very clearly, as I entered that escalator, as I came to the top, these words came to my mind with such power that when I got to the top, I stood up, pulled out my pen and wrote them down. Because the Spirit of God told me about Luzira and said, I want it to be a place where people come and feel welcome. Stay and keep growing. Go and reach out. And I knew from that very time that we have received our marching orders. An excitement came back to me because I began to understand what the heart of God really is. Because, brothers and sisters, the heart of God is for people. God loves people. All kinds of people. And what we find in the story that we have just read, the story of the prodigal, it's called the story of the prodigal son. When we find the picture of the two brothers are in the same household. One brother is older than the other brother, but they are all part of the family. They are all considered to be part of the family. Now, you have to understand, when it comes to church, one of the pictures that the Bible gives us of the church is that the church is God's household. The church is God's household. And all people are God's people. Not everyone is in church, but all people are God's people. When you read this story and it says that a certain man had 2 sons, we understand that that certain man, in that text, that certain man is God. That certain man is Jesus Christ. That certain man is the Father humanity. The two sons are a picture of people who are out of the church and are in the church. And we begin by some people who have walked away. And the scripture begins by telling us that one of the younger sons, the sons, came and asked the father, "Father, give me the portion of goods that falls to me." And the father will not argue with the person. It is the story of Genesis chapter 3, where man decides to walk away from God. And people decided to walk away from God. And when God came in that picture, all he did was to give man the skin of an animal so he can feel some safety, but released man to go and be whatever he thought he could be. But the place of safety for all of us, the place of life for every man, the place of family for every human being, whether born again or not, whether Muslim or Catholic, whether Christian or not, all of us, the place of safety, you have to understand, is in the arms of God, is in the Father's house. Now, but God will not argue with men. If you so choose to walk away from God, what God does is like he says, well, go try your luck. And today we live in a world where so many people are out there trying their luck. And some of us grew up in church and we tried our luck out there. And we pretty much found out what everyone who is in the world today, what everyone who is living today will find out. And this young man indeed also found out what every person who is living in this world will find out. You pretty much find out that life is tough. Life is hard. And that life is complicated. You pretty much find out that life without God gives you a promise of joy, it gives you a promise of fulfillment, it gives you a promise of beauty, it gives you a promise of perfection, but pretty soon you find out that that promise was a lie. You think, let me go off by myself, let me live without God, let me go and be myself, let me have fun, let me enjoy, we call it, let me eat life. And as soon as you try to eat life, you find that life is eating you. And so the Bible tells us that not many days after the Father had given him what he had asked for, his freedom. Let me also go out and find. I remember speaking to one young person. I was telling them about how life, please don't make those choices. And they're like, Musumba, you also give me some freedom to make my own mistakes. Why would you want freedom to make your own mistakes when some of us have made those mistakes for you and we can tell you it doesn't pay? Praise the name of Jesus. The young man pretty soon goes off. The Bible says he goes off to a far country. In other words, he leaves the Father at home and he goes out into the world where he feels he will have freedom, where he feels he can make it. But the Bible says what happened there, he only wasted his possessions. Listen, there is no person that was created without purpose and without reason. All of us have purpose. All of us, there is a very huge divine reason why you were created.
Amen.
Tell two people next to you, for me, I have a possession. I got a possession. Now, whenever you have something, you have two options with it. What we see in the scriptures, whenever you have something, you have two options with it. You can either utilize it so well, multiply it and grow it, or you can waste it. And pretty much, if you are not with God, pretty much you realize you have wasted your life. You have wasted your time. Any day that goes, that never comes back to you. And life without God is a lie, and it is empty. And funny enough, the older you get, the more you realize how empty and meaningless life without God is. Life without God is empty. It's meaningless. And let me tell you, after you have spent your life, the Bible says, after you have spent all, that is when all the famine in the land arose. Because right now, when you are still beautiful and everyone is saying hello, when you are that dude with all the dreads and everything, you can put on and walk around, but they don't know you. But pretty soon, life catches up with you. Pretty soon, you make her pregnant and you realize you have no job. Pretty soon, the business that was promised you doesn't come through, and pretty soon, the promises that were made are broken, and pretty soon, the famine sets in. And now, you have to make life work, but life isn't on your side. And pretty soon, you realize that there is a citizen in whichever country you went to. The owner, the Bible calls him the prince of this world, catches up with you. Devil is a liar. He has been a liar from the beginning. He will always be a liar. When you do not walk with God, pretty soon the devil catches up with you. And when he makes sure everything God had placed in you is removed, he now begins to take advantage of you. Satan is bad. He is the king of this world. He is the prince of this world. And so this young man pretty soon realizes the world he is living in is a broken, complicated task. The guy makes him work with pigs, but doesn't even pay him, not even give him lunch. That now we find him fighting with the pigs for food. And I don't know if you've ever been where pigs are. However clean you clean that thing, you come back tomorrow, it will be stinking. And the pig is really the only animal in the world that eats anything, like literally anything, including its own refuse. It will eat anything. And so here is the young man, having received everything from the Father, possessions, he has lost it. Now, did you know it is usually at that place when man or woman, any man or woman, realizes life is tough, realizes life is complicated, realizes he has lost everything, realizes it is at that point when a person realizes there is no more hope anywhere anymore, that usually they decide, let me run back to God. Did you know that? Most of us are not in church because we had a smooth sailing. No. Most of us are here because life got complicated. Life got rough. Life got tough. And we looked And we realized there is nowhere else we can get any peace, any joy, except if we run back to God. But do you know that decision alone, that thought alone can also be as scary? Did you know, for those of you who have been in church for some time, you might have forgotten this. But for anyone who this is their first time trying to come back into the house of God, church can be one of the most scary places in the world. I am telling you, can you imagine what is going on in the mind of this young man? He has lost everything. Life has been rough on him. He is eating and receiving things that he knows even his father's hired servants could not. And now, he is at the place where he's thinking to himself. He's realizing and he's beginning to have these conversations. And he's saying, how many of my father? This is the conversation. Someone is walking off the street and is thinking, will they accept me? Will they receive me? Will they understand what I am going through? Will the people in there know, look at me, what will they say? And so I guess all I can do is to say to my father, make me like one of your hired servants. Brothers and sisters, whenever you come to church, you have to understand there is someone in this place who it took them so much for them to get out of their house and say, let me go to church today. Never forget that you can be seated next to someone who it took them about an hour to choose what kind of clothes to put on in order to come to church. Because church can be one of the most scary places if you've not been. Never forget, whenever you come, for you've been used to it. You've been in this house for some time. But there are people who today, when they walk up, they sat on their bed and they thought for minutes, should I go? Should I not go? Will it be worth it? Or will it not be worth it? Will they shame me or not? The time it took him to choose what kind of cloth to put on. Should I have makeup on or not? Will they accept my hair or not? Will my cloth be the right one or not? The time it takes someone who hasn't been to church for a whole lot of time is a lot. You have to understand that. And so the young man is walking and he's thinking, I have no other place to go, nothing else to do. Let me go back. But this time, I'm not going back as a son. I am going back as a slave. And let me tell you, there are people who have been able to make this decision. But there are also many who haven't yet come to themselves. But we have to be waiting, because this is what the Bible says. The Bible says, let's move forward. The Bible says, as he arose and came to his father, but when he was a great way off, his father saw him, and he had compassion on him. The father saw him and had compassion on him. And he ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. And the father said to the son said to the father, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in your sight. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. And the father is shh. You see what is happening here? Because someone might not know that the father right now is seated somewhere waiting for you, waiting for them. But everybody belongs here. Everybody. This is church. And church is supposed to be home to everybody. Everybody ought to be able to come into this place and feel home. Everybody ought to be able to come into this place and feel like I belong here. Everybody ought to be able to come to this place and say, oh, I will be well received. Because the truth is, God has never abandoned anybody. God has never said, where nakumala genda wagwa. No! God is still in the business of receiving us back to himself. Let me talk to a few people here who you have felt rejected by church. A few people in Uganda who probably are watching me on TV and YouTube. Let me talk to you. You probably might, if you feel like you've been abandoned, if you feel like you do not, you are judged by church, if you feel like you don't fit into the company of those who call themselves Christians, let me tell you, that is not God. God is still waiting for you. God is still saying, you are my son. God hasn't counted you off. God hasn't said you don't belong. God still looks at you and says, this is my son. This is my daughter. I love you. I'm waiting for you. He has not moved an inch. He is still waiting for you. And he's saying, the moment you come, there is a hug waiting for you. There is a kiss waiting for you. There is a I am receiving you with my open arms. Somebody give glory to God. So this is the place. This is the place. Church is the place where everybody ought to belong. Church is the place where everyone from all kinds of, regardless of how you have been, regardless of where you have been, regardless of what you have been, here, in the arms of God is the place where you belong. Listen, people go through things. Now, whenever I read this story, I do not want to sympathize with this young boy. You know why? Because all the problems he is going through are of his own causing. All the challenges this boy is facing are of his own choosing. The father spoke to him and he refused to listen. So, for me, when I first read the story, I don't want to sympathize with him. Because if he hadn't gone away in the first place, he would not be suffering the way he is suffering. So, you get what you do. You get what you ask for. In my mind, this young man deserves to to suffer the way he is suffering. Right? But not so with the Father. You see, it is very easy for me to look at someone, a thief, a liar, a robber, a prostitute, famine, disorganized, their life is not together. It is easy for me to look at them and say, it's their problem. They caused it on themselves. I can look at a drug addict and dismiss them. I can look at a prostitute and say, why doesn't she change? I can look at the 16, 17-year-old who has gotten pregnant and say, Yalita Midala. But let me tell you, brothers and sisters, that is not God. God looks at us and he knows you will walk away. And when you walk away, the world has a way of caning you by itself. So God doesn't need to cane you anymore. The person is already suffering the consequences of their actions. They do not need another you to point it out for them. But you know what? Church has for so long been the place where people are so scared to come from. Because we believe, we think, if it was your choice, then you deserve the consequences, right? But listen, our Father's expectation of us, for those of you who have been revealed by the grace of God and the power of His Spirit and have come into church, the Father expects us that we will receive any of His children who will return home and do whatever it takes to make them feel at home, because at home here in church is where everyone belongs. And we have to ask ourselves, are we that church? Are we the church where anyone from the street, from the ghetto, from the high-ups, anyone from the corrupt, from the prison, are we the church where anyone can walk in and feel like they belong? Now, I am not talking about the theoretical church. I am talking about the reality of who we are right now, right here. Because we have to look ourselves in the faces. Are we the big brothers, or are we carrying the heart of God? Are we carrying the heart of the big brother, or are we carrying the heart of God? Because the big brother gets angry. He gets angry because the dude who messed up all his life has now shown up to church. And he's showing up and he's messing up everything. He doesn't know the songs right. He doesn't know how to put on right. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't follow the protocols, the programs. He's messed up. But the father comes to the big brother and tells him, son, you are always with me. And whatever is mine is yours. All that I have is yours. But there is this one who is your brother that was dead, but now he's alive. He was lost, but now he is found. I want you to be merry that he is here. It is the heart of God that everyone who church will feel welcome. It is the heart of God that everyone who comes in here will feel loved. It is the heart of God that everyone who walks in here will feel safe in this place. It is the heart of God that everyone who walks in here will feel accepted in this place. It is the heart of God. It is the heart of God that this will be a place where everyone will belong.